Well, good morning there, YouTube. Welcome back to HighwaymanTrucking and My Way on the Highway. Been kind of off the grid a little bit the last week or so, week and a half, I guess, since I made a video. Nothing major going on, just, it's a little depressing, the times right now. This scare of COVID-19, and like I had said in some of the last videos, I've got to really protect my health. Being a high-risk candidate, having had a heart attack last year and open heart surgery, and finding out I'm diabetic and small little blood clot in my left lung. So, yeah, it's all about the sanitizers and wipes and gloves and masks and things like that. But anyhow, I guess about a week and a half ago now, I delivered my load up in Montana. And freight in Montana is not that great to begin with, but it was completely destitute up there. So I says, well, we'll deadhead down to Idaho Falls. And I got down to Idaho Falls to the Loves there on I-15, and that first night there was literally 16 empty flatbed step deck trailers sitting in the Loves. Talk about an eye-opener. There was no freight. So I kind of milled and pondered what I was going to do, and the next day I deadheaded down to Brigham City, Utah. And same thing. There was about 15 trucks in Brigham City that were open deck that had no freight. And I finally got lucky and I found a little partial that was going from Salt Lake down to Phoenix. Basically just paid for all my fuel to get me home. And my plan was I was going to go home and just kind of wait this thing out. You know, freight's in the toilet. Everybody's talking about, oh, freight. And I've been saying, no, it's not good. It's not going to get good. And a lot of these van drivers were able to stay busy, thank God. But now, turn on the news and freight waves, and one thing I heard this morning, and it's plummeting. And what people don't realize, especially for step deck, flatbed, there's no production right now. A lot of these businesses are shut down. They're not producing. They're not ordering. They're sitting tight on their capital, and it's understandable. But that means there's no freight for us, and that's bad. Sorry about the sun there, the glares peeking in. Not much I can do about it here. I'm on the slow grade up I-17. I've got a load going to Flagstaff, Arizona. Kind of heavy. Anyhow, one of the things that has been happening the last couple of years is open deck freight, which is a smaller market than van freight, reefer freight, etc. Has been steadily declining rate-wise. Now, I know a lot of business owners that ship a lot of stuff around the country, some big, some small. They've not seen any reduction in freight. What people have to keep in mind, the price is not changing for the customer. It may go up, but it very, very, very rarely goes down. And having said that, when these businesses book their freight, they call a broker. The broker tells them what the average rate is from point A to point B, the lane rate, and the broker is who sets that rate. All these people talking about the market this, the market that, that's a load of crap. The broker sets the rate. Now, what's been happening the last couple of years in the open deck market is they've been taking a much larger percentage cut, meaning less cut to the truck. For years, brokers were on average taking about 26% of the load. And what's slowly happened is they've gotten up to 50 to 60% of the load. Meaning, 40 to 50% is going to the truck. And they've really kind of banded together, the major brokerages rather, and the major carriers, and driven the price down in order to drive the little guy out. And it's working, and it has worked. They're controlling their grip on the market. And unfortunately, a lot of people have to run for dirt cheap. You look at the rates out there, especially in comparison to van freight, and there's a drastic difference. And while we all might drive the same, there's typically a lot more work that goes along with open deck. From securement to loading, offloading to, permits for oversized, things like that. There's a lot of work. You've got to constantly stop and check all the load. As we're in a van, oftentimes you can just go. I'm not saying van driving's easy, but there is a little bit of a difference there. And the pay used to justify for, pulling open deck. And what they've done is they've taken the smaller market, open deck freight, and they've gotten a grasp on it. And we're starting to see more stories, especially now that TQL, a big brokerage, just laid off a bunch of employees. Now that their employees don't have a job, they're coming out and telling you how dirty they are. Those of us that have dealt with them know what we're talking about already, but it's just kind of reaffirming how dirty these brokerages are. And I have noticed that the smaller brokerages, the mom and pops, are still offering fairly reasonable rates and reasonable freight. And it's good to see, but how long will they be able to maintain their load boards and their status and loads in one thing or the other? And I just don't know. But this decline has been happening for quite some time. Now having the virus predominant throughout our country and the shutdowns, it's just drastically hurting open deck freight. And so I went home and I sat for a few days and kind of got my thoughts together. And I'll be honest with you, I was that close from getting out of trucking. Nothing to do with panic, nothing to do with anything of the sort. While I was home, I got all my tax stuff ready for this year. And I looked at what I made last year and what I spent. Fuel's been high, and rates were low, repairs and one thing or another. And for me, I couldn't justify the risk to my health out here, which is tough, trying to be healthy or maintain a healthy lifestyle and being over the road to begin with. That's very difficult, let alone when you have health problems, as I have had. And that was a primary factor. Being away from your family, normalcy of life, the cost wasn't justifying the means, so to speak. And I had pretty much made up my mind I was going to sell my authority and my truck and trailer and get out. And I figured, hell, I'll go get a job at Home Depot or something. Obviously, now's not the time to look for a job. And a lot of people say, well, why wouldn't you drive a truck? Still, I'm just not a fan of local work. I don't like being constantly in the city or traffic. And I'm not a fan. I kind of toyed around with it. I thought, well, maybe I'll go pull some heavy equipment for one of these equipment companies or something like that. But ultimately, if I got out of my truck, I probably would not drive a truck again. And that's just me. Now, my position might be a little different than some. I've been very blessed, and I don't have a lot of heavy bills. My wife and I have been very fortunate and able to pay off our home, and everything's paid for and so forth. So I could do that and still survive. It's just us. We don't have any small children. And we'd be all right. But the reality is, a couple of days of job searching, there's just nothing out there. And obviously, a lot of people have been laid off, and my heart breaks for those people. So I saw a load pop up, and it was going from Phoenix to El Paso. And it wasn't very much money, but it was all right. And then I caught a load from El Paso back up here to Flagstaff, which is about 160 miles away from my house. So I'm pulling a motor grader. Oh, look, you can't see it, but there's a little tiny deer, a little doe going down the side of the shoulder there. Interesting for early morning, or late in the morning, actually. Anyhow, so I'm pulling this motor grader up here. We're going to drop it off. and then I'll head home. I'll probably stop off in Phoenix, a little bit out of the way, and get a truck wash. I desperately need a truck wash. I wasn't going to do it because I didn't see the need for money to go out, but I've got some repairs I need to do, and things I'd like to see that are clean to make sure there's no, other issues. So that's my plan today. I'm going to get this motor grader delivered. Should be there in about 40 minutes or so. And then get home. Got some projects to do. I've kind of decided that I'm only going to take runs out of the Phoenix area. I don't really want to go any further than Salt Lake, Albuquerque, El Paso, and only if I can find a load back immediately. And I know that's really picky and choosy, may not be completely practical, but there's a lot of reasons why. Let's say you pick up a load in Phoenix going to Florida, just hypothetical here. Load's good, and you get to Florida, and your delivery is shut down. Somebody got sick at that place, plant, warehouse, whatever it is, they're shut down. Now, you have a load on your trailer that you are legally responsible for to deliver. Now, the way I see it, you're going to either sit for however long, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, who knows, and then, or you could drop your trailer and deadhead home, or go stay in a motel or whatever. It's going to cost you greatly, far more than whatever load you've hauled is worth. And I see that as a very high possibility. I've seen some things on YouTube, drivers not allowed into certain areas at all. Depending on how bad this gets, is it, they say we're not as bad as they thought it could get, thank God, but it's a pandemic, it's a virus, it spreads, it could spread rapidly. So there's that financial liability, and myself, as a one-man show, the risk is just not worth it. It's too great to get out and then be out thousands of dollars, and then once you're there, you drop your trailer or whatever, your trailer's loaded, you can't find a load with your own trailer, maybe you find a power only, maybe you get back, maybe you won't. There's just a lot of factors going into play there. And that's a huge concern of mine. Another thing that I'm starting to see with brokers that were offering net 30 terms have sent out emails. Now we're going to net 60 for the foreseeable future. Cash flow, blah, blah, blah. That would suck to get burned on a load right now. When money is tight for everybody, to not get paid would be horrible. I mean horrible. Or these people have overextended themselves and they go out of business during this. How long can they sit not making money? That's a huge risk. I, right now, am only doing loads that offer quick pay. Yes, it's a percentage, anywhere from 3 to 5%. Landstar charges, I think, 1.5. So it's not bad, the load that I'm on now. But I would rather try to get the rate up to compensate for the quick pay and know that I'm going to get paid and have that agreement before I ever haul the load, rather than get burned. Yes, it's going to cost me a little bit of money. I'm not going to make as much, but at least it's more guaranteed, or as guaranteed as it can be, rather, that I get paid. And I've seen this already from a couple of different brokers, and so that scares me. That's a huge fear, because our bills in the trucking industry don't stop. My insurance can't be suspended; it doesn't stop. The monthly payments for software and things like that I use for my invoicing, those don't stop. My pre-pass doesn't stop. So I've got to protect myself and make sure I'm actually going to get paid. And the reason for the shorter distance is, if I deliver a load and it's held up, it's not as much of a a knife in the side, so to speak, to get home as it would be clear across the country. So those are my thoughts. God bless everybody out there. They say layoffs are coming for a lot of these major carriers. I pray to God that's not true, but it most likely is. Watch your pennies, folks. There's just no telling how long or how bad this is going to affect our economy. You know, I think we're very lucky that our president and the current administration were able to get the economy up from where it was a few years ago. Had they not done that, I'm sure we would be in complete shambles right now. I don't personally think it's as secure as people are making it out, but they can't be doomsdayers and naysayers. I mean, you've got to have a positive outlook. I understand that. That's how the markets work and fluctuate. And fear and panic doesn't do any good for anybody. But I'm afraid the reality might be pretty severe for a lot of us out there. Definitely uncertain times. All we can do is what we can do, you know. Try to protect ourselves, our family, our health. Live meagerly and within our means. And just do what we can do to get through this. But anyhow, I just wanted to give a quick update as to what was going on, why I had made a video, etc. Kind of long. I see we're at like a little over 16 minutes. Sorry about that. But I thank y'all for watching. Probably do a video this weekend at home. I think my wife and I might maybe go out and plink some rounds off, check out the desert or something, take the Jeep out. So if you haven't checked her out, AZ, Obsessive Prepper AZ. She's got a lot of good ideas for preparedness, saving money, and things like that. It's not a doomsday channel. It's just a smart living channel. A lot of you have come from there to begin with. But I thank you for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe. And if you want to be notified, ring that bell. Everybody have a blessed day, and God bless America. See you later.